Yeah, it looks like that first area is starting to print, and it doesn't look very good so far. But again, I think that's where servo's supposed to go in, and not an important part. So it sort of did what I was hoping for there. Whoa! I'll have some cleanup to do there, no big deal. There it is, just after it got above the top. It sort of did like I thought it would, so I don't have a problem with that. I'm going to let it continue. We're coming up to the beginnings of our hole that's there in the fuselage, starting right there in the center. It's a few layers in, and so far it looks pretty good. Oops. Just as I had hoped, that hole came out with no problems. Well, a little bit on the top, but wasn't apparent till it was up close. Well, it's getting towards midnight. This has been printing for about 13, 14 hours actually. It's got about 200 layers to go before it comes up to that first ledge and the holes that will be in the sides for the hatch hinge. So far it's printing rather well. I'm still impressed with my little old baby Ender 3 printer. It's printing each layer very consistently in my humble opinion. Even got some other rounding going on the sides. It's taking care of all of it very well. The filament prints like canvas, hard paper. It continues to remind me of a fabric-covered aircraft. I guess my mind is just going to that because it is an aircraft. I can't explain why. It's just the feel of it. It's wild. I love it. So, it still has till 9 o'clock tomorrow night, actually. So, 21 more hours to print. It will get quite tall on this build surface, and I'm worried about this printer's never printed in those heights before. Is it going to get up there and knock the whole thing off the build surface because of the leverage? But that has all to do with my build of this Ender 3. Has nothing to do with the print or anything like that. And that's why I like this so much. I've just never done anything this major before. All right, good night. Yes, I know I already said good night, but I found something interesting. See right back here in the back of this print, there's kind of a line straight down with some splotching. That's because that's where it starts and ends each layer. Can you see that? I don't know if this is focusing well. Right, straight back through there. It's a straight line down. Now I walked around to the back of it to see what was going on, and when the light shines inside the print, you can see that line is extremely pronounced. See it? Right there. Straight up and down. Now, I did not put 2 and 2 together until just now. It's really late. I'm not going to do it tonight, but tomorrow I'll show you. That line seems to be in the slice too, and I kind of ignored it in the slice. I thought it was weird and unique, and now it's appearing in the print. But I'll show you that tomorrow. It's getting late. Good night for real. When I was standing behind it just now, I reached in, and the splotchiness there where the layers are all starting, it just flaked off of there. It was just surface. It's a little bit of ooze is all it is. You can see now it's a nice surface back through there, but there's still a line there, and you can see it again from behind. But I got all the excess plastic off. I don't want to reach inside there too much with that head getting ready to come shake hands with me. There's some really nice infill coming up right in the front of this, where that face is on the deck in the front, if you can see it there. So that infill is doing really, really well. There's like 3 layers in there with infill between them. It's making me dizzy. Now it's turned the corner. This face right here is part of just the straight up build. So this 45-degree part of the front deck here is finished. It printed fine. Everything from now up is merely vertical. This is what greeted me when I woke up this morning. I was down here last night about 3 o'clock, and it did this little ledge at 3 o'clock and started the holes on the side, and they just looked like they were going to be fine. So I went on back to bed at that time. The holes on the side, I think they're fine. In my humble opinion, they printed well without support. Got the slots in the bottom starting in the back. Overall, the print's so a good 8 inches tall or so now. It's got about 11 hours left at this point. And I promised I would talk about the seam right here in the back today, so I will get to that. But like I say, the slots in the bottom are starting to be created. Everything seems to be going quite well. Really proud of my little printer. I didn't know it had this in it. This is that part. This is it sliced, previewed, and you can see that line right up the print right there, and it comes out in the print. Now, when I was doing a benchy and trying to calibrate and stuff 2 years ago, there was a G code, I think, that causes this for the start of each layer to be randomized in the layers, which would make this seam up the print go away. I just don't remember what that code is right now. And I also wouldn't modify this code from the way it was given to me by the maker, because that would not be fair to them at this point. I have to do it the way they said to do it. This is about to start a new layer, and you'll see where it starts and stops in this G-code viewer on the Octopi print program. And I'll just speed this up, and you can see that upper right corner there is why that seam is getting put in that print. I'm not complaining about it, I'm just trying to sort of explain it. And here I sped it up just so you can see it kind of starts and stops. Doesn't kinda, it does start and stop in that same place where that seam is being formed on the model. Not a problem, just an observation. Just throwing stuff out there. Maybe somebody else, it sparks some information out of their brain and they share it. That's all I'm trying to do here. Alright guys, I'll let you know when it finishes, like 9 o'clock tonight. Have a good one.